my Project Zomboid build. And I've completed 4 buildings so far. And put in pretty much most of the road. There might be a few things such as right here where the road's not in just yet. But for the most part the roads are in. And also all of the Railyard, railway I should say. The 4 buildings that are in so far are these 4 storage areas, hangars. Well, not really hangars I suppose. That are set into these hills. Look like man-made hills based on the Project Zomboid build, so they look even more so here. Although it does have a definitely different view when you look at it from the side. And part of this is because of how the blocks are set up. There's not a slanted type block, so in other words it looks more blocky and you can see the dirt in instances like this right here. So instead of a continuous green slope, which might blend it a bit more, it really makes it stand out even more. Okay, what I'm going to be working on now is a 2-story building, which is right here, and it looks like it holds some of the offices for this railway. Going to use this block of clay for the windows, although maybe I might want to do something different. No, I'm going to use this. Not block of clay, but block of coal. So I'm just doing part of the perimeter for the moment. I might need to change how wide the building is, or I might not, depending. I'm going to go under the assumption that I might not have to. Since I do have a flex space in the back that I can use, this shouldn't be a problem at all. as for the rest of it, I'll use this as a flex space and work on the building. And I can put in the ground later. This one is a hard space since I need it to figure out exactly where the building should begin. Okay, there's a large window right here. And this building doesn't have a lot of things in it. It's got a lot of desks that are pushed into the side of one building. It looks like storage for the moment. But this probably is secretary's office, since it leads into another room right here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 maybe. 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have a door right here, and there's, as I said, there's an office right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 maybe. 10, 11, 12. The only way into the office is through the smaller office over here. Or this room is through the small room right here. I suppose it could be used as an office, but as I said, this building is on the first floor is mostly empty. Doesn't look like it's being used by too much. There's stairs leading up to the second floor right here. But unlike some of the stairs, this one actually does have a room behind it, with a door about right here. Okay, seem to be okay for the distance in the back. Might be a little bit closer than what it actually is, but it should still work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what's slightly throwing it off is simply the fact that these walls are 1 meter thick. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 bathrooms right here. And then there's also 2 doors in the back. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Then there's another room right here with 2 windows. There's a door to this room right here. Slightly odd shaped room, but you know. 2, 3, 4 maybe. The largest room on the first floor being about right here. This larger room has 4 windows, and in the Project Zomboid game it has a whole bunch of desks around right here, pushed up against the wall, and on the other side of some temporary barriers. Or temporary walls. Should be the rough perimeter of the room for the building for the most part. Still need to do the other side. Right over here. So now I need to figure out where it should end here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 maybe. Again, it's a little bit closer. Let's do one. Take one from it. It shouldn't hurt it. And what's hurting it is all these walls that are inside it. Each of them pushes it out a meter more and a meter closer, taking up more and more space, so it throws things off. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Window here. Same from this side. And corner on both sides. Actually, this side I've got thrown off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which I should have done that. That's 3 of the windows on to this room, that is. This one I think is 8 instead of 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 there. 8 minus 2 is 6. Taking away the 2 from the doors. So, 1, 2. And that should balance it out. The other option would be place the 2 doors right here, and that should work too, actually. this. It's not really balanced, though. So I'm just gonna go with this. It's not balanced either, but not balanced with this door, but this is only one. It's kind of hard to pull this one off with the translation. In other words, to protect some of the smaller rooms, I've done the translation of one block of Project Zomboid to a 4x4 in Minecraft, much like this right here. But that creates issues elsewhere. And some of those are with the walls being a little bit thicker than what or the hallways being slightly off. That including the walls being, as I said, thicker. Since the smallest block you can work with Minecraft is a meter thick, or a meter by meter. Meter length, meter width, meter height block. So even if you use partial blocks such as slabs, it still fills up the entire block, and the same is true of carpet as well. You can walk over the carpet, but the carpet does fill up the entirety of the block, even if it's not using it. This is true even of the completely transparent blocks such as air, which, if you're really working with Minecraft, you still need to think of the air around you as a block as well. Since you can move through certain blocks and you can't move through others, but it helps with building to not forget that aspect. Okay, doing the floors for the first floor. Then it's a matter of building up the walls for it. And putting in the doors and windows. Going to use white wool for the bathroom since it looks like tile with the city texture pack. For the offices, looks like a dark blue carpet, so going to use dark blue. Grabbed the wrong dark blue. Well, three of the offices I should say, are like that. The largest one and these two small ones. Stands out more because of the red brick here. And I think I might want to switch the brick route. Because of this. The brick is looks like different shades of gray or grayish, but I have one that should work. It's just it looks a little bit closer to this curve right here. It's the stone brick. Once I put in the carpet, I'll make the decision. But I'm leaning towards switching out the brick with stone brick. Okay, so this office is a lighter carpet. So for it, and it's a good distance from anything like it, so I'll just use a light gray wool. I've been using this to mark out, well, the carpet version it is to mark out parts of the road. Mostly because of the continuous pattern that it creates. And for the most part, the gray wool block becomes, and the carpet also becomes more like the white wool. Since the white wool looks like it's tiled. And so I think that's what they were going with. Okay, now well, I can just, don't need to replace anything, I just build over it. Need to put in the doors. Okay, this oak door because it has glass for offices and exterior doors. The solid one for bathrooms and also storage area. Doors that you're not really expected to look through. Okay, now for windows, at least the bottom part of them, to here, 4 in this larger room. I'll use spruce wood for the door frames, the upper parts. So that it will look something like this above the doors, and that'll give a little bit more definition. At least I found that it seems to work with all the other buildings I put in. Okay, the first floor is almost completed. Still need to put in the ceiling for it, however. The ceiling and the floor of the second part of the floor, the second floor will coincide, so okay, second floor doesn't cover the entirety of the building. Actually, I did make a couple mistakes when I built this thing up. Wasn't factoring in the windows, so I'm gonna have to eliminate quite a bit of it. Although part of it might be beneficial since it's easier to place glass against a block than against other glass. There are 3 offices from what it looks like on the top. One of them like a huge meeting room, or much like a huge meeting room. And this one has windows mostly Has a great view looking out, basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The same holds true of the other ones that are on the edge, except for the one office, which is about in the middle around here, which only has 2 smaller windows. A lot of them have several windows side by side, creating a pretty good view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you were going to use this to spot pretty much any zombie in the area, this is a really good building for it. It's very good for spotting on the other side of this fence as well, once you clear out some line of fire for some trees. Not that you're really going to be shooting from it, but it does give you a heads up. And if you haven't secured the rest of the areas, then this is a pretty good one for spotting along this area as well. And knocking out the glass right here gives you access to a shooting well, not really shooting platform, but also a spotting platform up here, and to build on this roof. I was thinking of it with some of the other games. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not really your running gun type game. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it's also good. You could place water barrels up on this roof, or you could place dirt on the roof and build a garden up here and use the interior right here as a living area. Which I hadn't attempted to do that yet, so I'm not exactly 100% sure how the rope ladders trick would work, but it should, in theory, work just as well. I haven't attempted it with these more larger windows. The trick of it's the same. You just knock out a window and you you use nail and bedsheet like ropes that you tear from cloth ropes, and you just use a couple of those, and that will allow you to get from one floor to the other without breaking your leg, which you would otherwise do if you go off if you fall from a second floor to the first floor. You're going to most likely break a leg. Granted, you heal much faster in this game than you normally would, but it's a bad idea to do that, because you never know when you might need to escape from zombies. And you're not going to be moving anywhere fast on a broken leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4. About right here. About like that for the door. Just need to move it over by 1. Okay, that takes care of the perimeter of this room. This might cause a slight problem here, so I'm gonna have to maybe extend these stairs just a little bit. It's not too hard to extend it out. It's just I'm going to use block and stairs. I'm going by two pattern. That means one stair, one block, then it goes up a level. So there's a stair, there's a block, and on the third one it goes up one level. Okay, so now this works. And I might use stairs here too. Okay, windows are all in, walls are all in. Now to do the floor and the ceiling. Sometimes it's easier to do it in this pattern once you've got all the rooms set in on the second floor. Some places are going to be a slight problem. And that's just from experience. And the problem is going to be with the doors, because I cannot place a two blocks can occupy the same place or the same block in the game, and a door takes up two blocks, the one that it's sitting on and the one on top of it. Takes out this block and this block. The problem is the lower block. What it means is I can't place carpets in the same exact block that I place a door. I can, however, place a wool block underneath the door, and many times that solves the problem. But it's not always easy to do so when the door block is in a situation like this. Because I can sometimes hide the wool block simply by the fact that there's a wall underneath it, so you'll basically never see it. If the walls are lined up, that is. And by that I mean the wall right here and the wall on the second floor and the wall on the first floor are roughly in the same pattern, or actually in the same pattern. If these two walls had been in the same pattern, I could hide a wool block right here and nobody would see it, for example. The reason why I'm not fixing that specifically now is there's not really a huge point in doing so, because I'm going to have the same problem elsewhere. So anyway, here, because it's just one off, I can fix this by creating a molding pattern. I'll show how to do that when I work to fix the ceiling on the first floor. Okay, that's going to cause a problem. For example, right here, I could do that. For example, you wouldn't see this. I'm going to place this temporarily. If that were a wall block to represent the same thing as the carpet is going to be on the rest of the room, you notice you're not going to see it from this side or this side. You'd only be able to see it from the top. But many of the other doors on the second floor don't follow that pattern, so it's a little bit harder to pull that one off. Plus, this one right here is going to be a slight headache. The idea of using this is not so bad. Just had to switch it to the other side. Yep, the transition's not so bad right there. Okay, now to poke out these, see what I can do here. This one's an easy fix door, it's just these two. This one I could deal with molding. And how I do that, depending on what type of molding I want to use. I could use this. or this. The difference between the molding effect right here is simply how far down it goes. So in other words, if you want something molding effect that's more pronounced, then the stairs would work. However, if you don't want it to take up as much room, then this slab right here is the better choice. But it does create a conflict right here. Not so bad of a conflict, but it is visible. And this one, all I need to do here is just take out this layer and replace it. It's not going to be visible from the top anyway. But here is where the other door is. So these two doors affect one room. Okay, because of that, it makes it a lot more difficult to actually fix. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just, instead of using carpet for all of the offices, I'm only going to use carpet on some of the 3D offices. The one that you enter as you're going up the stairs, I won't use carpet on. I'll use wood there, and I'll use that as the transition. And when I place in let me fix the rest of the first floor. It's mostly just fixing examples of this, which isn't so bad to fix. Just making sure that the ceiling is consistent. Okay, ceiling is consistent now. And what I mean by the using wood is that doors aren't placed in the center. They're placed on one end or the other. So I'm going to place the door on this side of it and use carpet right next to it. So this block will be part of this room. Whereas if I did it the other way, it would look a little bit odd. So this is to make the block underneath it work, basically. And then I'll do the same thing for these rooms as well, these offices. There's just 3 doors on the upper floor. This office right here has the stairs going directly into it. I'm just going to that's option 1 on the left side, option 2 on the right side. I think option 1 looks better. It does make it stand out a little bit more, but that's fine. Okay, so this section right here might be a problem. Let's see if I can fix this by doing this right here. What that'll do is it'll just create a sort of line up here, and then I'll do the same thing here, and it'll create a pattern. And the same thing here, and it'll create another pattern. And okay, 1, 2, 3. This is off by 1, but that shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna put in the roof, but it'll also leave another place for me to fix as well on the roof area. I think I can fix that with just this right here. Take out this line and place in stairs. Which will hide that section. Not a perfect fit, but it's one that seems to work. Okay, once the ceiling and roof are in, since they're flat for this building, it's pretty much they're both going to be the same one. Then I'll take a short break and start working on the car lot before moving on to the next buildings. Parking lot, I should say. So that takes care of this building. Still need to do the parking lot for it. And I'll start working that on after this. After a short break. It should be back up in 1 to 2 minutes.